Posts are great, especially when you're first starting and you're trying to figure out who your target audience is, what type of content people are going to respond to. Doing boosted posts in the beginning is the perfect way to do that, and I continue to do boosted posts. Even when I'm moving on to the Facebook ad campaigns, I still do my boosted posts because I love having all of that social proof on my clients' Facebook pages, and I just love being able to keep adding to our custom audiences. Because remember, when we're doing boosted posts, especially when it comes to videos or it could be engagement, we are still able to create custom audiences of people who are watching those videos. So all this time, our custom audiences keep building and building and building. So after you're ready to move on from a boosted post and you're ready to do a Facebook advertisement, I'm gonna walk you guys through the exact template that I use for every single campaign that I do. And as I've always taught you guys, there's 3 kinds of traffic, right? Cold, warm, and hot. And so this is the template of objectives. This is the template of objectives that I use for each stage in that process, okay? So for cold traffic, remember, these are people that have never heard of you, never, seen any of your value. Remember, we're man, I cannot talk today. I have a presentation, so hopefully I'm going to get better at this today. But so remember that a cold traffic, they've never heard of you, the cold audience, they've never heard of you. They have never experienced any of the value that you provide. And so we have to start giving them enough value so that they can become familiar with you. And so this is the template that I use for my cold audience campaign. So I use a PPE, which is a page post engagement ad. I also do a video ad. And don't be surprised, but I even do a website conversion ad. I do run website conversion ads to a cold audience because you never know. The offer might be good enough for a cold audience to bite. Facebook advertising is all about testing. So every time I start a brand new ad, PPE, page post engagement, that is basically like utilizing engagement. That is going to be the objective that you're setting. Whenever you're first starting with Facebook advertising, the first thing they ask you is what type of objective would you like to choose? Page post engagement is basically telling Facebook, I want you to go and find people who will engage with my content. So in this cold traffic, I will do ad sets. Now, each of these will have a different ad set, right? Just in case we do have a couple of newbies here, before I go and show you guys the template, I just want you guys to understand that you have your campaign, right? Your campaign. This is going to have different ad sets. However many ad sets you want, like your demographic, your interest. So I basically create 5 to 6 different ad sets underneath that same campaign that's going to the ad. Okay? So just to get that out of the way. So when you're doing a PPE, video view, website conversion, I'm starting with one campaign and I'm doing mini ad sets that go to the same ad, okay? Just so that we're clear on that. Because a lot of people get confused over doing a different ad set for all of these, but I literally do the same ad set and test each one of these for those different ad sets. So I'll do 5 or 6 ad sets for a PPE, I'll do 5 or 6 ad sets for a video view, and I'll do 5 or 6 ad sets for a website conversion campaign because I want to test all of those same audiences across the board. And I want to see how they are performing under each objective. And so I don't want to choose different objectives for each one of these because then I can't compare to the results, right? Because if I use, like, let's say I'm running, men who love Tony Robbins here as a PPE. And let's say I'm running females who love Amy Porterfield here. I'm not going to get a really good data over which one is performing the best because they all have different ad sets. And so what I would do is I would run males who like Tony Robbins, females who like Amy Porterfield, okay? So those would be my ad sets. Then again, I'm gonna run males who like Tony Robbins, females who like Amy Porterfield. So I would still do this all the way down. And so I could have, at the end of the day, I'm doing 5 to 6 ad sets. And so I could have 15 different ad sets under all of these. So that's definitely higher than a $5 a day budget, but that's where it works. And I'll show you guys how to allocate your budget and how I figure that stuff out. And so that's how I do cold. I do a page post engagement, video views, and website conversions. Now, whenever I am ready, whenever I got 5,000 impressions, that's whenever I give myself the go ahead to create a custom audience of people who have watched the videos. I create a custom audience of people who have engaged with the content, and I create a custom audience of people who have clicked on the ad. Then what I do is, that's considered my warm traffic, right? Because they've engaged, they've watched videos, and they've clicked. And so the audience that I've pulled over from here is now considered my warm traffic. And so the two objectives that I use for warm traffic are website conversions and traffic. Now, why don't I want to run traffic here? Because here's the thing, whenever you choose the traffic objective, remember, whichever objective that you tell Facebook you want it to do, it's gonna go find people who are going to do that action. So let's say you put a traffic campaign going in on this cold audience. Facebook doesn't care whether people are going to like what you are posting. They are just going to send as much traffic of people who are going to click on your ads. And so I find that Facebook does not give a very good audience of traffic whenever you're running it to a cold audience. So I feel a lot more comfortable using the traffic campaign because we have already created a custom audience. Remember, all of the people that are going here to this Facebook ad have already engaged with this content. And so that's why I feel comfortable running a traffic campaign for my warm traffic. Now, people who have already bought, what I'm doing is, because that's right, they're considered your hot traffic, right? I do the exact same thing. WC, website conversion, and traffic. So for both my warm and my hot traffic ads, I am running both a website conversion and a traffic ad. Now, if you are doing lead generation, I might add a lead ad in here. If, like Giovanni, if she's doing e-commerce, she's probably going to run a catalog ad, which is a dynamic ad for e-commerce. She would probably add those to her objectives as well. But so basically that is the template. I'll go over that one more time. In a much shorter version, I'll give you guys a little. So if we're doing cold, we're doing PPE, we're doing video views, and we are doing website conversions. If we're doing warm, we're doing website conversions and traffic. Hot traffic, we're doing website conversions and a traffic campaign, okay? So now, how much of my budget am I spending on each? Because once we've got the cold audience campaign going, then we've got the warm audience campaign going, and then you've got a hot audience going. So how do you figure out how much of your budget goes to each type of campaign once you start? Can you list it out in a post also? Yes, absolutely. I can give you guys a cheat sheet on this. Simple. So how do I allocate my budget? So once we've been doing this, so of course, whenever you're in the testing phase, you're going to use a large part of your testing budget for testing, okay? Usually what I do is whenever I first get with a client, I tell them to set aside a budget just for testing. So this is not including that test budget when you're first starting your Facebook ad campaigns. This is for the overall, after you've got all 3 of those campaigns going, this is how I allocate my budget. So for testing, I never stop testing. Always be testing new ad sets, new interest, new demographics. Always be looking for new audiences to expose your product or service to. And so for testing, I do 3% of my total budget goes to testing. Prospecting is what I call something that is kind of in the warm audience where you're actually trying to convert them over to customers. That's where I spend most of my budget, and that's 83% of my money will go to the prospecting part. That's my warm traffic, okay? And then for retargeting, meaning retargeting people who have purchased, 14% of my budget. That's how I allocate it. Now you guys can break this up however you want, but I'm just giving you guys what works for me and my clients. And so let's say you have, a $1,000 budget, right? So, that's like, $30, that's $830, that's $140, that'll go pretty quickly, as you can see, for even just a $1,000 budget. But what that's letting you do is that's allowing you to do, all of those different ad sets and stuff like that. So as you can see, when people say the $5, Facebook strategy, it's usually not $5 a day. Like I did a Facebook Live this morning. The $5 a day budget, that is for boosted posts. If you only have $5 a day, I would not even mess with Facebook advertising. And that's why I like to teach the whole $5 a day utilizing boosted posts, because if you only have $5 a day, there's no way that you're going to be able to do PPEs, video views, website conversions. There's just no way. And so it's a very easy way. Boosted posts are very easy to kickstart what you're going to be doing here, because what I always recommend people doing is, at least for their first 30 to 90 days, I will keep businesses on a boosting post schedule, especially businesses that have a very small budget. I will keep them boosting posts. Oh my God, I can't tell. Boosting posts for at least 90 days, because that is within their budget, okay? So whenever you're ready to move on to Facebook advertising, make sure that you have a couple $100 a month, or you're never ever going to be able to execute Facebook ads in a very relative way that's going to make a big impact on your business, okay? So that is my method. Now, not saying that this is the right way, but this is one thing that works with my clients, and it doesn't matter whether they have, like a $10,000 a month budget, or if they have, a $30,000 a month budget. This is the same way. I break down 3%, 83%, 14%. Yeah, your very first ad, $5 a day for 7 days. That's a really good click rate. That's a single ad. If you don't have a huge budget, just doing a single ad or a single Facebook boost, that's all I tell people. But to really get like a grasp of what audiences are working, being able to have a budget to test 5 or 6 different ad sets definitely works better, especially whenever you're trying to sell higher ticket type items. Now, in Giovanni's case, I know Giovanni, she does e-commerce. E-commerce is very low ticket. Some people are just impulse buyers. And so doing boosted posts or doing just PPE type ads, or even just traffic ads, work really well, because those are just quick one-time, impulse buys. But whenever you're trying to sell something like maybe it's your coaching service or a higher ticket type item that's cost several thousands of dollars, it's very, very, you could see how quickly we would go through a budget really, really fast. So I just wanted to give you guys a quick lesson on how I break down my budget and how I break down the templates that I use. As Kareen suggested, I will actually put this in a cheat sheet. Do you guys think that I should save this video and upload it into the course? I kind of think so. I think that this is a video that's going to help a lot of people. So I think if this one is worth saving, and I'll upload it to the course with a cheat sheet. So thank you guys for watching this morning. I am about to go do a workshop, and I will catch you guys later.